Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It is me, Kia Simone, and we are here for our weekly vent session. So we're going to talk about love and marriage, Huntsville. I'm going to tell you right here at the very beginning that this is getting very ghetto. I'm really kind of spiraling out of being able to tolerate this show. Okay. I am working on my schedule and, getting acclimated to a new work schedule so that I can parlay into some new content because I'm pretty sick of them. At this point, the conclusion I've come to is this has got to be scripted. This is scripted. They are playing with me and I'm done playing with them. But we're going to talk about it because I'm a woman of my word. I have made a commitment to you to come down here every week and let you know exactly what's on my mind about this mess that they call a show, okay? I just dragged Tiffany a couple reviews ago about referring to Mel as a baby mama, but I might have to backtrack a little bit because her and Martell are giving me very strong baby mama, baby daddy on their way to child support court vibes, okay? I am real sick of them. Like, I want to pack up and leave this vacation because I don't want to be in the same house as them, not even on my TV. And for me, I don't get pleasure from their pain. So it is not entertaining for me to watch this debacle go down every single week. To watch the same people fight about the same stuff and us pretend to be like, oh my God, what's going on? Every week. I'm ranting before I even rant, Lord. Y'all just bear with me. And while we're right here at the beginning, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share the channel with a friend. I know I keep telling y'all this, but I promise I'm working on it. Just bear with me, okay? So the episode kicks off with the guys outside shooting basketball. They are trying to recover from this explosion of a fight that they were all unfortunate witnesses to. As they're playing basketball and they're talking amongst themselves, Martel comes out in an outfit that looks like he borrowed it from his son. I don't know what in the granimal's hell he is wearing, but it's entirely too small. It is from his body 2 seasons ago. Martel don't look like he can move good. It ain't nothing sexy about a big 35, 36-year-old, 37, 40-year-old man in a 2T outfit. That's the first thing that pissed me off. But let's just keep on going. So they all amongst the men start talking amongst themselves about the issues between Mel and Martell and the issues with Tisha and Marcel. Marcel is highly bothered by the fact that Tisha surprised him with a therapy session. So they are talking to him about how he should probably be grateful because it sounds like at least she's trying to keep the marriage together and not looking for a way out of it. And explain to him that maybe how he's approached the marriage has put her in a position where she feels like this is the only way to communicate with him effectively. I don't know. Marcel decides he don't want to talk about him. He want to talk about Martell. And they start telling Martell that, regardless of what goes on between him and Mel, there has to be a respect for the group enough that when somebody tries to intervene and ask them to stop, they have to be willing to respect that request to stop. And I agree with that. Like, y'all cannot just be bleeding all over people's relationships, vacations, parties, backyardigans. Y'all can't just be taking these ghetto box cutter fights all over the place. And nobody can say anything to y'all. This is somebody else's anniversary trip. And y'all are a divorced couple in here fighting like y'all fresh out of child support court. It is just beyond me. Marcel is right. Like, and Martell don't want to hear it. You know, his thing is, if Marceau just finished saying he don't want advice from a counselor, then Martell don't want advice from Marceau. And I get that too, but at the end of the day, some things come down to basic respect. Y'all have to have enough respect for other people, for yourselves, and for your children to give a damn about how you conduct yourself, to care about somebody else's experience, because guess what? They spent their money, time, and energy to be there too. This is not the watch us just dysfunction all over the place show. I mean, it is to us, but not on their vacation. So then all the ladies come outside, they in their bathing suits and things, and let me tell you something. Tisha works my nerves, but Tisha was working that bathing suit. You hear me? That mommy makeover she got was worth every penny. Her doctor did a real good job, okay? Tisha was wearing the hell out of that bathing suit. Go girl, okay? Because one thing I ain't is a hater. If you look good, I'm going to tell you you look good. You might work my very last nerve, okay? But if you look good, I'm going to tell you you look good. And girl, you look good, okay? Now, this is the other reason I think this damn show is scripted. Pay attention to when all the ladies came outside, the guys came from around the corner, and Marceau saw his wife. Marceau looked like, hell yeah. That's the shit I'm talking. So I am at the point of thinking there is this agreement for them to present as this particular type of couple. He's supposed to be disinterested. She's supposed to be this little weak thing. They're supposed to come across like they don't even have sex. Them people is touching each other at night. Okay? I'm sick of them playing in my face. I'm real over all of this. But anyway. So everybody comes outside. They're all, you know, chilling around the pool. And people start asking, well, where's Mel? Where's Mel? Where's Mel? Here goes Martell. I'll go check on her. That's the other reason I know this damn show is scripted. If these people were just 2 seconds from a whole CDV WWE match, why the hell would Martell be going to check on her? They were just damn near street fighting. Why wouldn't somebody else in this whole caravan of people y'all got go check on her? I know why. Because they wrote a fight into the script. This is the only way to act it out. So Martell goes to the room, knocks on the door, and she's, you know, yeah, oh, what are you doing here? And he, well, everybody's looking for you, and they're requesting me. And he's, well, everybody's, you know, saying, where's Mel? Oh, well. Next thing you know, we're rehashing the fight from the night before. And she wants to tell him all of her feelings. And Martell is like, well, listen, I don't really want to talk about this. I just came to kind of check on you. She's like, well, yeah, you also came in here in the middle of the night last night. And he's like, yeah, so I just wanted to check on you. I said you came in here in the middle of the night last night. What you came in here in the middle of the night for last night? And he was like, you know, he kind of looks like, I'm trying to avoid this. And she says again, what you came here for in the middle of the night last night? And he said, I came in the room to do exactly what I'm doing now. I came to apologize. And she's in the confessional. I don't know who he think he talking to. He know he did not come in that room to apologize. He know what he came in there for. And those days are long behind us. Okay, Mel, we know. We know. He trying to hit it. We know. This is Martell we're talking about. We're quite aware. Okay? As an argument starts to build, she out of nowhere says, yeah, there's something wrong with you. So Martell says, okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave. I'm going to remove myself. Well, I'm going to stay in here until I get to finish saying everything I want to say. Okay, girl. I'm sure they got a nice mirror in there. Stay in here and say any thing you got to say to yourself. Please, please. And don't burden us with it. She'd have had the right one telling me that foolishness. Okay, bye. So Martell turns around to humor her. I'm going to let you get it all off your chest. So she goes into what triggers her. It triggers her when he says they have 4 kids together. all kinds of things, and she continues to argue and jab at him. So Martell says, I'm leaving. I'll see you outside. She just continues to yell because now you can't rope him back in. So she's just yelling through the house about how I should have said more about your side chick last night. And, and I don't say anything about your stupid ventures. So don't say anything about mine and my career and this, that, and the third. And so now she done triggered Martell. You done got what you want. Engagement. So Martell starts yelling about how you talking about my side chick like you ain't been a side chick to two different dudes. Say what now? She been who to what? So she carries on. I ain't never been a side chick. I never be a side chick. Martell lost it. Martell said you were dealing with so-and-so and so-and-so, and they both had fiancés. And she's lying about all kinds of things. I'm real over it. I ain't doing this no more. So they're yelling, screaming, and carrying on. The producers go and run Marceau down. Marceau, we need you and we need you now. Because they in there about to tear up these people good furniture. And we going to lose our deposit, okay? So could you please come in here and help us? So everybody's out in the pool. All they hear is Ike and Tina in there just screaming and carrying on. Nobody knows what's going on. Marceau goes running, just a jiggling and dripping, just running in the house, trying to break this fight up. So he drags Martell away, and Marceau says the most sensible thing of the entire episode. Marceau said, this might be normal for them. This is not normal for me. This is your cue that you are living in deep dysfunction, okay? If this is your norm, let us be the ones to educate you that this is highly, highly dysfunctional. If y'all have been crazy enough to let somebody write y'all a script to perform this level of dysfunction and present it as your reality, then what you have truly done is sold every bit of integrity you got. Because this is absolute madness. Whew, child. Destiny standing in the middle of that fight looked just like how I felt. Like, this is some absolute bull. I'm checked out and I want them to shut up. I can't even believe this is happening. My thing is, this is not y'all's moment. This ain't y'all's moment. This is a whole nother couple who was there celebrating their 15-year anniversary and invited y'all ghetto asses to come and celebrate with them. Y'all wouldn't get invited to nothing else. I mean, I wouldn't invite y'all to fold clothes for the Salvation Army. I wouldn't invite y'all to nothing. Do you understand? Nothing. So the next scene we move on to is Wilding with the Whitlows. Tiffany and her husband, Louis, are leading the night. Tiffany has made some sort of drinks and they're going to play some game where they're going to ask a bunch of invasive ass questions about everybody's life and relationships, and they're going to take shots to find out the answer. If you've ever watched any review of mine, you know I don't believe in none of these games. All of this bunch of sip and see, whatever these games are, this sip and see what's going on in your life, I don't play it. Okay, I'm not into it. I'm not interested. Play them nosy games with your mama. Anyway, so once again, Mel is boarded up in the room. So the ladies this time decide to go check and see how she's doing. So she's sitting in there like she's quarantined away and she just can't be bothered. And she can't be bothered until all attention is on her. This is how selfish and self-involved this chick is. That these people can't celebrate their anniversary in peace. These people can't have a fun night. You can't put you to the side for a minute. Everybody has to put their lives to the side to come and play with you in your dry wig about how you feel, and they gotta beg you to come out and be social. And the one question she had is, Martell out there? Let me ask you a question. If you got called up to the pearly gates and you was getting your chance to get into heaven, was you gonna ask them, is Martel in there? Go live your life. Oh my God. Like, live your life. Your life, you don't get to just destroy everybody's moments. You don't get to be this immature and this reckless and blame it on his presence. You are an adult. Manage yourself like one. You're a parent. Manage yourself like one. Children don't get to have this level of outburst and this level of tantrum and this level of misbehavior. Okay? Grow up. So they finally drag her out the room. And she's sitting in the corner and, because she's going to be mad. Now, one thing I give Martel is Martel know how to don't give a damn. Martel over there laughing and drinking and playing the game and having a good time. And she's sitting in the corner. I mean mad. You gonna waste your pretty and your youth being mad at this man if you don't get it together right now. They start asking these questions. Mel posed the question, are your needs being met? So Tiffany, of course, clarifies, are your sexual needs being met? Mel's like, yeah. You can see she was expecting a reaction from Martel. Martel carried right the hell on. They kept asking questions. So the next question was, for everybody, are you happy in your current relationship? If you're happy in your current relationship, take a drink. Everybody drinks except Marceau. At this point, I truly believe Marceau is just pulling people's leg. Like, Marceau is playing on the conception that he knows people have of his marriage. So if the role or the assignment we've been given is to pretend to be the unhappily married couple that might be on the edge of a break, they understand the assignment. And he is playing it to the hilt. He eventually takes his drink after he, makes sure that everybody notices that he didn't have a drink. And Tisha right there scratching her damn scalp and looking around because she don't give a damn. So they keep going through the questions. They eventually get a question about the most people you've had sex with in one night. And Maurice said 6. I don't know what in the Ron Jeremy hell kind of life Maurice been living. But we need some backstory and some understanding about how and why you had sex with 6 people in one night. Okay? We would like some understanding. And Kimmy would too. Because this is once again some shit Kimmy didn't know about her husband. But moving on. So Tisha goes around the group asking about advice that people can give to help other people's marriages. Maurice gives the advice to always continue to do, once you're married, what it took for you to get married. I believe in that. What it takes to get him or her is what it takes to keep him or her. So don't let it fall to the wayside once you got him or her, because you can lose him or her. Okay? The next person that they're asking is Martel. Martel's response was, take care of your mate by any means necessary. So Tisha says, well, that goes both ways, right? And Martel said, well, I didn't say take care of your husband. I didn't say take care of your wife. I said take care of your mate by any means necessary. Prayerfully, he is saying that from a place of what he has learned. Maybe he failed to meet the needs of his wife, and he understands that. Just like he so clearly and vehemently expresses how his wife failed to meet his needs. I pray that he is going through a stage of self-awareness, because one of them got to grow. I'm sick of them. They get around to Destiny. They ask Destiny what advice she has. She stopped them right at the gate. I don't have no advice for nobody, okay? She couldn't stay married a good year. And so y'all done married 10, 12 years. I ain't get that far, so don't ask me nothing, all right? And she does express that the only thing that really bothers her is that she, her husband, and her child never really got the opportunity to be a family. And, and I'm sure that that's heartbreaking for her. And maybe, maybe somebody else will come along and she'll get to live the full dream and have a happily ever after. Now we get to the ultimate BS of this episode. We have Tisha, who has been crying and begging for Kimmy to be her sister for seasons on end, who takes this opportunity to ask Maurice in front of Kimmy and the rest of the group about giving up on his first marriage. She goes to Kimmy first to say, I just want to make sure I'm not being disrespectful. It is okay if I ask Maurice a question about Kiowa. Kimmy said, okay. So she says, we talked to Kiowa, meaning she and Marceau. And Kiowa told us that she felt like y'all could have worked it out. That you just left without even trying. And do you think that maybe if you had tried, if you had given it a little more effort, y'all could have worked it out and your marriage could have been saved? Kimmy, your husband is a whole lawyer. And y'all got bond money. It's time. It's time. It's time to reach across something and just grab her by the back of her damn head. It's just... You just gonna ask my husband in my face, does he think that he should have tried harder to save his last marriage? Does he think they could have worked it out? So Maurice breaks down to Tisha that the answer is no. He says to her, and she will, well, how do you know? Oh, are you here to fight on Kiowa's behalf? Okay. So he goes, well, because he said there's a definitive moment in the relationship where you stop and take inventory and you realize that if I stay, it will only get worse. There is a point that you come to realize that staying in this relationship is toxic and it's only going to hurt everyone involved. Okay? I don't even have a whole lot to say about this because it's just, it's so disrespectful, it's self-explanatory. So Maurice breaks down to Tisha that not everybody is willing to stay miserable and blame it on their kids like you and my brother is doing. And they decide, okay, now it's time for everybody to go party. Yeah, because this is getting a little off track. Okay? Also, while they were all sitting around talking, Marceau says to Destiny, what did you do to cause your husband to leave you? The fuck? What? So when Destiny goes, wow, that was really disrespectful, he was like, no, I'm just wondering, like, where is your ex-husband? She said, well, he's my ex-husband, so that kind of explains that he's wherever he is. Marceau is a caveman. Marceau is a caveman that believes women only have access to things if they have a marriage license to use as a ticket to get into things. I'm not even going into this. Marceau, please go to hell. So they all go get ready. They're going their separate ways tonight. The guys are going to go one way and the girls are going to go another way because, putting Mel and Martell in the same group is like ammonia and bleach in the same bucket. So while they're all getting ready, the couples are talking amongst themselves about everything that's going on. So Marceau is talking to Tisha about how overwhelmed they are by the Mel and Martell situation and how bipolar the Mel and Martell situation is, because one minute they'll be okay and they're getting along fine. The next minute, you don't know if you're going to lose their deposit because they're going to punch holes in the wall. It's just no telling, and nobody wants to be responsible for managing that. And I get it. Like, nobody want to be around that. So then they go to Louis and Tiffany's room. And Louis is talking to Tiffany about the conversation the guys had earlier in the day when they were playing basketball, and about how Marcel felt about this surprise therapy session. And that Marcel was not happy about it. It was not something he wanted to do. And how they came to the conclusion that, that Tisha's confidence in the marriage might have been affected, which is why she might have felt the need to surprise him with a counseling session, because she may have lost the confidence in terms of being able to communicate her needs and desires in her marriage. I'm not so much bothered that they had this conversation, because the truth of the matter is that's what happens with couples and couple groups. Like, we gonna sit up and we gonna talk about what's going on with so and 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 so. We gonna talk about what's going on around us. And let me tell you what so and so has to say about such a good. Babe, did you know? Cause baby, let me tell you what he said. When we was out there talking, so and so said what they said when y'all was out there. Couples do that, right? The issue comes when Tiffany takes that shit back to the group, okay? So everybody leaves. They go to the club. They all look cute. Everybody at the club. So then they go outside on the patio so they can sit down and talk. And here Tiffany came being Tiffany. They're talking about Tiffany as an addition to the group and how they weren't sure about her at first. Newsflash, we still ain't sure about her. The only thing we sure about is we don't like her, and she messy, okay? Mel makes this comment, I told y'all she was fun, and then she side-eyes Destiny. Destiny, I don't know what it's going to take for you to realize Mel is not your friend. I know that Destiny is more or less a friend of the show, and she is a friend of the show that's connected through Mel, and Mel is leveraging that maybe in order to keep her in check. But Destiny, I think you can really secure your own 2 feet planted in the ground spot if you just gonna tell Mel a thing or two about herself, because I'm quite sick of her. I'm sick of the way she handles Destiny, and I'm sick of her making Destiny this punching bag, so to speak, for her and Tiffany. It's not cute. I do not like it. They keep talking, and Tisha brings up that she has a surprise for Marceau. And Mel asks, well, what's the surprise? We're not going to tell. And she says, well, a semi-vow renewal. And they're like, oh, and he doesn't know anything. So Tiffany uses this as her opportunity to bring back around the conversation that she and Louis had privately back at the house. Okay? She says, well, I planned a surprise wedding, so I'm telling you he needs to know something. And, Louis and I were talking earlier. He told me that you had another surprise for Marcel. And she was like, he did? What did he tell you? And she says, that you had surprised him with therapy? Well, he was telling the guys that he thinks you might lack confidence, and, in who you are, and therefore maybe lacking confidence in him and your relationship. And, well, that's just what he was telling the boys, so it might be something to look into. I told y'all a few reviews ago, Tiffany is a full-on Karen. What did Destiny call her in the confessional? Destiny said it's just that Karen thing about her. I don't know. And I'm going to tell you what it is. And this is why Tiffany and Mel get along so well. Tiffany is miserable. Tiffany is not happy with anything in her life, especially that marriage. And since she is not happy, what she does is she goes around trying to poke holes in everybody else's balloons to deflate their happiness because she has none. And I'm sick of her. Tisha, I believe, is half drunk because Tisha just letting the shit go over her head. Just, oh, that's what he said? Well, girl, I don't know nothing about none of that. Okay. Destiny ain't having it. Destiny is like, how dare you talk about not surprising your spouse with things when you surprised your husband with a whole wedding. And Tiffany goes in, yeah, but it was a wedding that he waited for. He waited for years and he wanted to get married. And, you know, and then she flipped around in the same breath and said, you know, I had to wait for years for us to get married. And please get your lies straight before you go stirring up drama. Mel, who is nobody's friend, is in the confessional about Tisha. She's not talking about you behind your back. She's giving you the tea. She's giving it to you like direct and straight up so you can go fix this. You know, add some sugar and some honey to it. Make it sweet again. Baby, we don't want your advice, okay? You've been trying to sell us the blueprint to marriage 2 seasons ago, and we see where you at. We don't want your advice on making nothing sweet, all right? Keep your sugar, honey, ice, and your tea to yourself. Thank you. And furthermore, Tiffany, what you do when you take your pillow talk out of your bedroom and to the club is now you've compromised your husband's relationship with the guys. Because when this shit makes its way back 360 degrees back into Marceau's face and it's interrupting the peace at his home after he called himself trying to confide in his guy friends, and it's now caused a disruption, now he's going to have a problem with your husband. Now nobody's going to want to tell your husband anything. So when your husband is cut out of the loop and you therefore too, don't say a word. Stay your ass over there. Okay, Karen? So Destiny decides to call Tiffany out for her BS. And she says that was very shady. Like, who does that? Next thing you know, here's Mel defending. Well, what was she supposed to do? What do you suggest she do? What should she say? Well, she said, why are you always coming to Tiffany's defense? I'm not defending her. And Tiffany goes, well, I would like to know too, what should I have said? Because we were talking about marriage, what it takes to make it for 15 years, and you know, and this came up, and so this is, you know, being able to communicate with your spouse is very important. That's important to being able to make it. Well, baby, guess what? You wouldn't know. Your marriage didn't make it, and you are on your second marriage that you had to surprise a man with. We don't want your input either. You and Mel take y'all iced tea up the street, okay? Lipton got the business on lock. We don't want that shit y'all selling. So then Kimmy tries to explain that it is not okay for you to not only say things that make people uncomfortable, but then try to defend those things you said. Once somebody has made you aware that the things you're saying to them are at least bothersome, you should not defend them. Okay? And you for damn sure should not continue to make those types of statements. So Tiffany gets defensive and she says, well, yeah, I mean, it was being said by a bystander. Destiny said, I'm not a bystander. I'm right here. She's actually a part of the conversation. Then Tiffany starts to make jabs at where Destiny is from. And she's like, well, you know, when you get upset, that Detroit, that Atlanta, that, you know, everywhere you've lived comes out. Destiny said, let me tell you something. Don't play with me. Say either you gonna talk to me with some respect or we can cut the conversation. And she got up and walked out and said she's going to walk out before she commences to dragging, okay? And here's Mel sitting there thinking she's cute. Oh, Destiny, don't go threatening to drag folk now. Don't go. So then Tiffany starts throwing these rocks about how she's transparent and she would hope that everybody else here is too. And she does this with her kids. Well, guess what? These ain't your kids. Two things I cannot stand is people who mask nastiness and meanness as being real, and people who think that whatever they do with their kids, they can do with anybody. So they try to explain to her that, listen, you have to be a little more cognizant in terms of how you approach situations with adults, because what you do with kids, especially your kids, is not the same way that you approach mutual adult relationships. And the episode ends with Destiny stomping out, letting Tiffany know all the states she can get dragged through. I'm about sick of this show. I can't even be nice about it anymore. I'm about sick of this show. This has to be a scripted mess. That whole Mel Martell fight, Tisha having the unmitigated gall to ask Maurice about why he didn't try to save his first marriage in Kimmy's face. Tiffany sitting up here running messages from her husband and the men's group. This is ghetto. This is ghetto, and it's upsetting me and my homegirls, okay? That concludes this episode. As usual, thank you for letting me get it off my chest. I probably didn't drop very many jewels of wisdom. I try to, drop a few jewels of wisdom in these reviews to make it worth your while, since the shows are like chewing gum for your brain. We're going to try to give it a little nutritional value. But yeah, I don't have too much wisdom. They just pissed me off this time. So that's that. Please, y'all get down in the comments. Y'all know I love when we talk in the comments. I love it, love it, love it. So please get in the comments. Let me know how you felt about this episode. If there's any parts that I missed. All that, okay? In the meantime, as always, I thank you for stopping by. I will see you next time. Love you, mean it. Bye.